Okay, now that I've got myself some notes and something like that, to the best of my ability, this one's kind of gonna be spur of the moment type of a thing of appreciation. First of all, I'm finally clean, and I needed it finally for the first time. That I am feeling much better, and a bronchial viral cough that hurts your head so bad you bawl your eyes out because you don't know if it's COVID or not. Thank the Lord it wasn't. But finally, I am feeling back to my old self again. Thank the Lord. And I have a little bit of a break coming soon, but I'm here to do a video. So if you guys are hanging out, as always, you guys are bloody legends keeping this channel alive. Please do hit that subscribe button if you do want to see more content, and you'll also be alerted whenever new stuff comes out. We do all sorts of stuff on here, and the podcasts are coming very soon. As we have seen, if you guys have seen, there is proof of the new laptop coming up soon. And especially if you do like some of this hilarious stuff that I end up, chuck a like on them if you do. And my stuff has gone since the beginning of September. I've not counted how many vids I've done recently, but maybe do something special once I get to 100. But please do continue to help support the channel. But this video, kind of a little bit of a, what's a good way to put it? An appreciation vid, if you will. Intro. Let's do it. As we are back in live and living in color, I'm all decked out this time around. A little bit of some Portland Rose type of thing for the Portland Timbers. And what the heck is behind me? I got Buffalo Slug here. I've got the old red Minnesota Wild here. Might as well, that hat does not match the blue there because that's older. And they brought that back just for hockey people. But you get the point. Anyway. Good to have you guys in here. We're going to have ourselves a little bit of fun because recently, we always say this on this channel, the world is crazy. And especially, we do talk everything from the Gen X stuff to sports stuff to hockey content. But sometimes I just got to throw something out because about a month and a half or so ago, I went off on the Will and Jada stuff, and that video is still on there. It's one of my favorite vids on here, and you guys loved it. You want to check that stuff out, and that goes along with a lot of the Gen Z stuff as well, that it focuses into the entertainment world. But trust me when I say nothing beats the stuff that's recently going down, because if you do not, and I repeat this, and I don't watch a whole heck of a lot of podcasts all the time, just because I work and I do a bunch of stuff because I got to take care of myself. But when I get a chance to, first of all, there's a guy named Zach Huey. If you don't check Addict Talks on Spotify, you need to find yourself, and you need to find God. Anyway, but the most successful podcasts are out there from everywhere. The Breakfast Club's big. I mean, there's more people that actually leave their former business, their former work employment to start podcasting, because sometimes there are many athletes that are out of the game. That's probably the biggest example is athletes that used to play in the game, and they're like, well, we're not going to get a job for the NFL. We're not going to get a job for CBS, NBC, ESPN, Fox Sports, or even NFL Network or any of that stuff. When their time is over, they still want to be somewhat involved. If they're not involved in a team or anything, they basically are going to come try to find a couple people and find a production company and put themselves into a podcast. Sometimes they're going to be maybe like this guy, who and a couple other B-boys are scrapping this thing on dumpster stuff, leftovers. And I'm not doing too bad, and we're all not doing too bad so far. This is not bad for a kid that's green doing this stuff. That's still learning on the process. But they do, and many people are doing that. And I know former Steeler quarterback Ben Roethlisberger's got his own. Many superstars got their own. The biggest one right now just basically became the number one, and that is Shannon Sharpe. Him, first of all, if most people don't know, Shannon Sharpe is a former tight end in the NFL, played for the Broncos and the Ravens, won a couple Super Bowls. He's also the younger brother of Sterling Sharpe, who was also one of the best wide receivers in the business. He played for the Packers many years. But this guy is pretty much going to be probably one of the biggest offset stars in the business. Not even a star. He just comes out and does what he likes. He does what he likes. He's talking to people. He's a great talker for somebody from the South. But he's basically famous for doing his stuff on the field in in Baltimore and in Denver. But then after everything was over with, he went into the Hall of Fame. And he definitely deserves to. Then he became not the side host, but the co-host next to the ever loving Skip Bayless for Fox's Undisputed. And remember, Skip Bayless used to work with Stephen A. Smith for First Take. Skip left because he wanted his own show. So he packed his stuff from Bristol, Connecticut, and he moved to LA for the big money, and he got a lot of it to have his own show. But after 6-7 years, Shannon Sharpe gave it to Skip for many, many years. Enough. And then we see all the vids that come out, and especially some of the ones where he just was absolutely berated by Skip. Especially about the Tom Brady situation, about Skip's tweet, about the Damar Hamlin situation. That was the one that he collapsed in the field against Cincinnati. All that stuff, and they went at it each other, and let's just face it, Skip Bayless, as great, and I know there's people that hate him. I'm not a fan of him either, but he's fun to listen to. This guy, Shannon is going up against somebody who's 70-some years old, is straight edge, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't eat candy, doesn't eat anything. Like, the problem was the fit 70-some-year-old people you ever meet. But he's hardcore on his Dallas Cowboys and his Spurs and Oklahoma Sooners and all that. More Dallas Cowboys than anything else. But all he cares about is his stuff. And Shannon just, at the point, got to a breaking point. So Shannon finally just said, I've had enough. And he basically said the great words, I hope I gave you everything. Skip said he did. And they parted ways, and moved on. And quite honestly, that was one of the greatest moves Shannon Sharpe ever did. Because basically, once that happened, there's a guy on the side, is one of my favorite people of all time, Stephen A. Smith, sitting there going, I seen what Shannon Sharpe did. I want him on First Take. Done. On a part-time basis. He's only got Monday or Tuesdays. And sometimes if Stephen A. is on break or on vacation, Shannon will fill in. Right back to where he started. Right back to where he left off. Great taker, great content maker, and an ambassador to the game. He knows the game in and out, and also is very, very high in on watching basketball and all of that. Still a Laker fan and all that stuff. And those two playfully go at it, and you know what? For Shannon Sharpe, it got better. It got better because he started his own deal called Club Shayshay. That is his personal podcast, and he also does a side job with Chad Ochocinco Johnson. He does a late night one where he's allowed to be a little bit more. He can speak and say he doesn't have to worry about being demonetized or anything. Called Nightcap, and hilarious. I got to watch a couple episodes, and they talk about certain stuff. They talk about stuff you'd never thought. But those two have a great podcast. Check that out whenever you can. But you got to give appreciation to Shannon Sharpe for basically doing one of the hardest decisions he ever did, leaving Skip Bayless and Fox Sports. To go to ESPN to be with First Take, but also continue to do his work for Club Shayshay, because I'm telling you right now, it's the best podcast interview run right now going. I mean, there's many others that are great. This guy's taking the cake right now because he's had so many freaking cool guests on his show that it's amazing. He's gone from Steve Harvey to even Ric Flair, UFC's Francis Ngannou. I'm just reading a handful of guests that he had on his show, and it's all on YouTube, so you can check all that stuff out. He's had comedian Bruce and Kirk Franklin, Ricky Smiley, Little Duval, and he's even had Stephen A. Smith and a handful of others. There's so many to name. The biggest one just recently, and if you haven't watched it, you will. I don't know which van you are living in. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you have not watched even snippets of the video he did with Katt Williams, I don't know what to tell you. Because that interview, I watched the whole thing from beginning to end. I've seen the snippets on like little Facebook and Instagram stuff. I sat and watched the whole two some hours of it, or whatever. I can't remember how long ago it went. Because if that video does not tell you a story about the entertainment world, Katt Williams is right up there, and he's a very intelligent human being. You can sit there and say he's this, and that. I'm telling you right now, if you have time, sit and watch that whole entire episode. I don't know which side you want to take. I don't take sides, but I do understand the kind of like the dark side of, show business and all that stuff. There's people and trust me, I can tell you that there's people in Central PA that wish they were in show business. You want this lifestyle, and know that Katt Williams will tell you it all. He can explain it to you all. And it also doesn't necessarily say that every person you see, every great human being that's being successful has a dark side and doesn't care. Like we say, Steve Harvey doesn't have a dark side. Like, he could care less about it, what anybody else does. As long as he's walking around in a $15,000 robe, he don't give a rip. He doesn't. But he does specifically tell you to your face, I busted my butt to get where I am, and he's got 6-7 shows. Whatever he's got, I've lost count. And still does Family Feud. He'll tell you that. But Katt Williams went off, and it was hilarious. I mean, even Shannon couldn't take it. I mean, Shannon was debating half of that stuff of having him on that interview. But at the end of the day, it became the #1 podcast episode. It jumped him in his viewership. It jumped him in his subscribers. It jumped him on his views and his likes. The man's gone ham, is what it is, and it's unbelievably amazing to see how great he has done. He's doing First Take. He's doing Club Shayshay. He's doing Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco, and he even has his own cognac brand, La Courtier Shay Cognac. I'm not a cognac. I never really got into cognac. Not a big drinker anymore as I'm getting older, but I did check it out. If you got $120 to go online to get a bottle, knock yourself out. But it's almost making me want to buy it. But I looked on all this stuff, and half the time, and me preaching about this on a video like this, it's kind of like a reminder. It's not like a reminder, but it's like, hey, dude, if you have not watched it, go find it and watch the whole entire thing. If you've got time on your hands, I would greatly recommend you check his podcast out. Even the one he did with Ric Flair was pretty awesome. Bruce is funny. He did, and there's a handful of other guests that he had on, and he's got enough to go by. He's got his own stage and production company and all that. So someday I hope I have that. Not the cognac, but guys, I wanted to get this out here, have a little bit of an entertainment type of a video, just to be like, hey, if you did not check this guy out and you did not check Katt Williams' interview, you seriously need to live. You need to live. Go check that out when you have an opportunity. You don't have to say I sent you, but hey, I enjoy doing this, and I'm going to shut this video down. I'm not going to make this a gigantic long video, but if you do enjoy a lot of the stuff that's coming out, please do hit the subscribe button, and please chuck a like whenever you get an opportunity, because this is kind of one of the reasons why, after all these years of breaking and all that stuff, I'm kind of glad I put myself out of the limelight a little bit, but to help out with my anxiety and all that stuff, to reach out to you guys, it's nice to actually know that I have a lot of friends that are helping me out on this journey, and this is one of those. I appreciate you hanging out there, and by all means, do check some of the other stuff that we've done on this show. And until then, I will see you bloody legends in the next one. The bar is closed as usual, and I will talk to each and every one of you guys soon. And I think I'm gonna order some cognac. See you guys later. Oh yeah, gotta do that thing.